I would like to call in alphabetical order Eduardo Colmar, my friend Shrek. Edu, welcome. How are you? You're Shrek too. Thank you for the invitation. It is a pleasure to be sharing the ideas and thoughts with you. With Victor and Francisco, it's an honor. Now, our friend Victor Bezerra, the guy who is using ITC to have some time off and stay home. Hi. Yeah. This year would be a little bit more difficult to have a 45 head start to get a permit. But I talked to everyone on for next year. You know, I'm preparing for 2021. And my dear friend Francisco, and I said I was going to do it in alphabetical order, and I did it all mixed up. Sorry. How are you, Chico? Hello. It is a pleasure to talk to you, friends from ITC, and now this invitation is an honor. As I was saying earlier, you know, this journey, I'm very blessed to be at my age. You know, I'm almost 58. CQCS was reaching stability. And I'm not sure stability really agrees with me. And you are people that really were a breath of fresh air, as I mentioned, when I invited Francisco to talk in Insurtech Inovação. And I remember one day we were at an airport. They started jabbling, talking about a number of tools that I had never heard about. And you should know that Duke is, what is the name of the guy that helps you? The lineup? I'm going to remember the expression, the term. So they were helping on the lineup for innovation, and we're doing great. So I'm going to ask the same question to all three of you that I want each of you to answer. Victor will be the last one to answer. I hope that you can keep it at about 5 minutes each so that we can have a second round. So why do you always come back? Why do you always return to ITC? So you've been once, why do you come back? We've talked about this before. Everyone is very passionate about technology. We need to be close to what's going on. I remember that in 2016, I went to the US and my father went to a convention on insurance, and in the last day there was a presentation and they called all of the regional representatives of a few countries or a few areas in the US, and they were invited to talk to us. And to cut a long story short, we had great brokers in the room, and the guy that was the LATAM CEO for this insurance company talked to, he was talking to Ephraim and said, what do you think of this strategy? And the guy replied, look, we've studied going to direction A, didn't work, direction B didn't work, now we have in direction C to go. And all of that was based on data, statistics, and on information that we had, or they had. It was at that moment in which it clicked on me. We can't step away from this market. There's no way of not taking part in this. I remember that Ricardinho Leses Teixeira from Centauro had mentioned that there was a life insurance company event, every couple of years that seemed to be a transformative event. And when you mentioned, and you said, I'm going to Vegas for an event, a technology in insurance event, I said, yeah, I'm in. I'm not sure what I'm going to see, but we need to check it out. And Chico and Vitor and myself, we've repeatedly gone to the event, which shows how important the event is, how great it is for people that want to be part of the and close to what's going on. And to conclude, soon after we were back, we were having lunch with Vilardi, and Shmel was right next to us. And we said, what did you think? Are you going next year or next time? Are you not going? And Snow said, I'm not sure. And I said, I'm not sure, but the probability of me going is 99%. And he said, why? I said, because I can even get there and criticize a few things and see that things that do not apply, or see that we are at more advanced in one thing or another. But if I don't go there for 2 years in a row, I will feel too far from the market and I won't have fed myself with the news. And I think it's almost an addiction in our area, having that. And we have to have the best opinions and the best concepts so that we can draw our own conclusions. But in summary, there's no way of not going, because you need to be close and you need to look at how things are going with regards to our market. Thank you. What about you, Chico? Why do you come back every year? It's a hard mission, but basically, I come back every year to open my mind. I always focus all of the education that I undertake, all of the training that I undertake, I try, even if it's different. I may, as Eduardo said, I may not agree, but I need to know that that exists, so that it is part of my foundation. It is part of the base which informs me and informs my decision in the company. So it was with ITC that, for example, I was able to connect with people through networking, people from abroad. We have a lot of meetings, you talk to a lot of new people. And even for Brazilians, we created a network of really nice people. And yes, there are several presentations that are great. Some things seem out of this world, and then when we get there and see it's not like that, it's easier to understand. And I think that all brokers now need to update themselves. So you might have a list or a spreadsheet, but that's not enough. You need to always learn. And more than that, you need to understand that innovation it doesn't start with technology, but rather with an idea. And we start looking at how people innovated in other countries, and then we reflect on what we are doing here. And in 2017, the ITC, one of the first presentations that I watched was a life insurance session in which they talked about how they worked with a low-income community in Africa, and how they were able to sell life insurance. They didn't have access to life insurance. So often there are people that want life insurance and don't have access, so they created a way to have a transaction of name, date of birth, and you can and another point of data, and then you can pay it through your phone bill. So it's focused on the idea, on thinking outside of the box. And that's the presentation that I saw. The focus was the client. And it will be the client that will establish the rules, really. Good, good. What about you, Victor? Why do you come back to ITC every year? You can't say it's for vacation, because you love being with your kids. Mine are big and grown up, and I love taking care of them. But why do you come back to ITC every year? To shop. No, I'm joking. And he does, he does. And I even ask my friends to carry the cases, the boxes. Yeah, that's true. Gustavo, for moments like this that we're living here. And as a whole, it's not just the presentations, it's not just the technology, it's not individual moments, it's everything. It takes going there to understand what happens there. If I think about my friendship with Francisco, that's invaluable. That's not possible to put a number on, to put a figure on. The presentations and this, we if we were going to take into account all of the speed of things happening, we would need 2 or 3 ITCs every year. Sometimes we have systems that we like, that we really enjoy in one year, then we go back that following year and it's completely turned around. So we have dinners, we have people, we have the relationships that we establish. We have conversations with CEOs, with all of this going on. It's all amazing, and so much option that we had. And can you imagine if anything strange that you envision? There's a presentation on that. You know, like there's an app for that, there's a presentation for that in the ITC. Whether it's complex, claims, client experience, my vision. That's the whole picture. So I'll go back as much as I can, because it's always more knowledge, more networking, more friends, and new ideas.
Because sometimes you're there, and I was talking to some guys from Suhai today, a company that I work with, by the way, and it all came up from us, having some Mexican food, sharing a table. So this guy sat next to me, right person at the right time. Yeah, it's really amazing. I mean, you're great at that, by the way. Yeah. But again, now they became big partners of ours here in our business. So for those of you who are listening to us here, and you might be wondering, should I go there? I'm just a small broker. Well, you have everything. There's a lot of opportunities there. It could be a small, big, insurance company. Doesn't matter, because you have to look what's relevant for you. Look at what's relevant for you. But I tell you, opportunities abound for anyone. But when you're looking at claims, for instance, and how to serve your customers in this scenario, they interact. There's a lot of opportunities there in a meeting such as this one. So my answer here, yes, well, but it's basically because of everything that happens there. Let me actually, in a way, answer that question too. I mean, I don't go there because I have, the ITC Experience project. But with all due respect, I like to go there, and see how things are organized. I mean, it's really about, really being there. I mean, you have no idea, how we put up this ITC Experience standing this week, but I go there because this is really a moment that I take to think about my business. 3 or 4 days, this is really all I do. And I think that everyone should do that. And you might actually, go, because you might have actually gone to the beach, for instance, okay, but it's actually going to a trade show on insurance, and you will start seeing people, meeting people. And I go there because I'm always, in search of inspiration. And I was talking to Bly a few minutes ago, and thing that impressed me the most is when I see, Shapiro from State, maybe this guy who teaches old folks how to drive in in in, in Vegas, because why is our innovation tech here so inclusive? And it is actually significantly inclusive, by the way. And on the 22nd, we're going to be back, by the way, because we're not stopping here with our meetings, and we do want to replicate that same model here. But mostly, I go there to be around these people, everyone that you should be around, actually, as a matter of fact, to try and improve our businesses. Because insurance, in a certain way, sort of brings people together. And, Shrek, for instance, here is a dear friend of mine. I mean, I see him, nearly every day. And so it's really about that, too. And I really am very happy to say that I actually made these friends thanks to the ITC. And what we will do now is we're beginning to do something of a different ITC meeting today. And soon, soon enough, we're going to have a presentation on, on the materials brought, shared with you by our curators and translated also to everyone, for you to, read through it. And I'd like you guys to maybe leave a message here for us. I'm going to do it the other way around. If you could please share a message to those of us who are here in the ITC for the first time, even though it is a remote meeting, what kind of a tip would you give to those newcomers? Well, Gustavo, I think that what happened last year, and I would basically read everything that was sent to us, read the materials, and actually find out what makes sense for your business. Because you might have a lot of interesting talks going on, and then it might not have much to do with your business, and you're going to be not spending time wisely if you go to these presentations, no matter how interesting they may be. So if you're working with car insurance, hospital insurance, health insurance, etc., I mean, look at the schedule and get organized, because it's oftentimes a lot of information, and we are often tempted also to see every single one of the presentations. We can't do that. So organize the schedule for yourself. List the stuff that is important to you, okay? And prioritize it as much as you can, so that you can really learn as much as you can, because you have to understand you're not going to be able to see everything, because it is humanly impossible. But if you're able to organize things, prioritize things, you can certainly enjoy this meeting. It will be much more fruitful to your business, because the idea is again, to bring ideas to your own business, to grow also as a business and professionally. Thank you very much, my dear friend. What about you, Chico? You're an expert in ITC, right? I mean, we can always see you walking around, everywhere, and having meetings, opening doors, introducing people to everyone. Really nice. I mean, and you introduce a lot of people to a lot of us, And so, what tips could you give us? Well, Victor's tip here is extremely valuable. You have to understand what your main issues are today in your brokerage firm, and you have to try and look for, because I mean, the repertoire is huge at the ITC, and sometimes you might have, people speaking from countries you've never heard before in your life with interesting solutions, however. So you really have to be very selective in terms of what you're going to listen to. And it's not because it worked in the US that it will necessarily work in Brazil. And enjoy as much as you can the networking portion of it. I mean, get to know people. You can do one-to-ones there with anyone in the world who's, in that meeting. And this is a huge opportunity. Actually, the first time, uh, you know, I went to an ITC meeting, and we sat at the same table. So, I mean, it's really a great networking opportunity. And you have to, get in touch with folks that make sense to you. Thank you, Chico. What about you, Eduardo? Well, if I could add anything to what has been said here, main tip is what do you actually do while you're there? So you have to pay close attention to your business needs, and you have to obviously try and attend as many presentations as you can. Big thing about the ITC is finding insights that might be applicable in your own business. See what's going on in other parts of the world, and even in, from other parts of the world into Brazil, or from Brazil into other parts of the world, because then you can produce insight into how you can either directly or indirectly apply what you have learned there. I mean, I think it is very clear that what we're looking for as we go there is knowledge. And it's really about also, and improving your business ultimately. It's also about sharing information. We are all working in one same market, and we have to build this market together. So it's all about, progress, evolution of knowledge, and more specifically, you have to look for ideas that are relevant for your business. I think that you guys really got the essence of it, but there's something else that I'd like to add here. First, let me remind you that we have people in Brazil, and this applies to even today, right? People who might not have access to it in their daily lives. And a networking tool that is available here today, you can get in touch with other people here from Brazil who will have time, to talk to you. And another point, and again, this is a most relevant point, is that it should all be fun for everyone, right? I mean, here at home, my partner, I know she has this thing that she says, look, honey, let it be light. You see, I mean, you don't go to a meeting like this to really, uh, work till you drop dead. I mean, you have a number of presentations here today that will all be recorded, so you should be able to watch them later. Sometimes you have 5, 8, 10, 15-minute presentations, and you basically have to find what you want to see. And then and then some other day, when you have some time, you watch, some of the others that you couldn't watch today. You see, because what we are building here in this meeting is the possibility of creating a moment for people to, be encouraged to innovate, in different levels. So we have Murillo here with us. We have Eduardo, also, Chico and Victor, each one here taking care of their businesses with their own specificities. I here have my communication and training business, and we are all here open to talk to anyone. So those of you who are not used to doing networking, please get used to it, because networking really lies in the heart of the ITC. And and sometimes, I mean, you will try things that will not work well. I remember the first time that I went there, and I accepted meetings with everyone, but some folks, I mean, I didn't even give them a business card. I mean, they didn't even know what I did. I mean, I'm not going to, necessarily, chat, I'm not prepared, to talk to them. I saw what they did, but if they didn't do that, I wouldn't talk to them either. Not for that long, actually. Gustavo, I'm sorry for interrupting you here. No, no, you can interrupt me whenever you want, man. Because we have a great friend in common, and was first your friend, then became my friend, Delio. Delio. Yes, I mean, I just thought about him too. So, what about? I mean, because it seems that this is, what they meant to do there at the ITC, and I think that our response to him was say, "Look, just go." I mean, because he was asking me, whether he should, and I said, "Go there," and then we talk about it, because he will come back a different person. I think that if we talk to him, he will probably also let you know that indeed it happened, and it's a life-changing trip. It's funny because I thought about inviting him to this meeting as well. And since it's kind of an older guy, like me, I said, no, let the, let's have the younger guys. Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you. And, and he'd be jealous. So I'll certainly invite him, to our next meeting. But this is exactly the point. Go there and make it a growth experience. The CQCS has this spirit, we're all about integration. And we even have simultaneous interpretation into Portuguese, and that's not everyone that does it. Here today, for instance, I mean, we wouldn't have it, but we decided, no, we're going to make it happen, and we're going to have simultaneous interpretation, because this does make a difference. So we're trying to open those doors. And if there's anyone here that you wish to know and you can't, haven't met them yet, I mean, let us know, because, since they want to talk to you, want to talk to them, we're going to make it happen. And the main thing here is to say that we are living in a moment in our society, and specifically now as we're all in isolation, in which if you're either 7 or 70 years old, you're basically, living the same moment. We are all building our tomorrow in a way. And I think that people who go to the ITC come back with the certainty that that you can contribute to a better future. So thank you very much, the three of you, for setting up some time to be here talking to me. I'm really missing you guys, and I'm really glad to have you here today. And I'm happy also to see you, my dear friends. Chico goes to the ITC, obviously, for obvious reasons, I believe, because you need your friends to carry your boxes, right, with stuff you buy. Yes, and if you want to really make things happen, you have to go there. I remember Eduardo, we came in a little late, and he was the guy that I would meet in the aisles, sitting down with the computer on his lap, and he would go there. He was, taking calls, and he would, go from talk to talk, and then he would be in the aisles there and taking calls, and then he would go up and up and down. This is my flight. I have to be back day such and such. I mean, Eduardo was the example of a guy who really made it happen. I think he wasn't meant to be there in a way, but he did everything he could. And if you really want to make things happen for you, you will find time. I mean, saying that you don't have time to do it, I mean, either online or if you go there in person. Yes, you're right. You're right. And it's not actually that expensive. And there's also, food, I think, included. You know, airfare, you can also, you know, pay it and split it in installments.
Barato,
Yeah,
né?
let's wish that the dollar, you know, the exchange rate improves a little bit for us. Yes, but if you compare it anyway to any other, you know, meeting that you might be interested in going to,
Depois da manhã
tomorrow I'm
também.
going to São Paulo, day after tomorrow, right actually on Friday, to do a symposium in São Paulo.
Não, ela São Paulo e
I
volta.
paid nearly $500 for this meeting, you know, to be in this meeting. So
Viagens imperdíveis que
yeah, because you know, I also have, you know, those websites in which are, you know, offering me you know, airfare or, you know, flights for say 1,600 reais, which is really, you know, to the U.S., Miami, Boston, and you can pay it, you know, more flexibly if you really arrange those, if you book your trip in advance. And if you want to go there, you should really go there. And by the way, in our closing day, we're going to also draw 2 packages for Las Vegas. Yes, it's a free meeting actually from the symposium in São Paulo. They will actually run a lottery for airfare and also registration in the meeting and expenses. And you will also see me there because I'm going to be there. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here. This has been great. Really miss you. Great to see you too, Gustavo. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Gustavo. Thank you, guys.